Hey SurfNav, welcome back. This is still Walt O'Donnell, a SurfNav instructor, and we're going to continue on with our speed required problem from Karachi, Pakistan to San Diego, California. In this video, we're going to be converting our arrival and departure zone times into GMT. Both Karachi and San Diego are ports, so we will go into the applicable publications to find the zone descriptions that those ports are keeping. Then we'll apply those zone descriptions to the zone times of departure and arrival, so that we'll have an arrival time in GMT and a departure time in GMT. We're converting these zone times into GMT because it's going to make the math much easier when we have to calculate our transit time. We're basically taking the zone descriptions out of it right off the bat. So when we do our transit time, it's just GMT to GMT. So first, let's take a look at our given information. We need to depart Karachi, Pakistan at 0910 zone time on 24 May 2023. And we need to arrive in San Diego, California at 1945 on 19 June 2023. We need to convert both of those zone times into GMT so that we can calculate the time between them. So we need to find the zone description that Pakistan keeps in late May. We also need to find the zone description that San Diego keeps in mid-June. So let's go into the pubs to find those. Let's start with Karachi. So we need to depart Karachi, Pakistan at 0910 zone time on 24 May 2023. Since Karachi, Pakistan, is a non-US territory, the pub we're going to use is sailing directions. Not just any sailing directions, we're going to use one of the planning guides. So as a reminder, these planning guides are pubs 120, 140, 160, 180, and 200. They are the planning guides. We're going to look at pub 160, which is South Atlantic Ocean and Indian Ocean, since Karachi is on the Indian Ocean. You don't want to look at the in-route guides for the zone descriptions because they are too detailed. You want to look at the planning guides because it tells you very general information on the country, including the zone descriptions that they keep. So we would go into pub 160, we would go find Pakistan, and then down here in the table of contents, we would be looking for time zone right here. You can actually just click on time zone, and we find that it says for time zone, the time zone description is Echo -5. Daylight savings time is not maintained. Well, that makes it easier. We don't need to apply daylight savings based off of the time of year, which is nice. And we're going to be using a zone description of -5. And now what I like to do is I'm actually going to move this z to -5 up here so that I can use it for the math. And as we're going through this video, I highly recommend that you also get into the pubs as well on your computers or tablets or phones, so that you can get the practice of going into the pubs and finding different zone descriptions for different places. Now that we've found the zone description for Pakistan, let's go ahead and do the math. From our ditty, we know that we're going L to Z. We're going from local time to Zulu time. So we're going to let it be. L to Z, let it be. That means we're going to take the zone description of -5, and we'll just subtract 5 hours from our zone time to get to Zulu. So here we go. We're going to subtract 5 hours and 0 minutes. We'll do some math. We'll start with the minutes over here. 10 minus 0 is 10. Now we'll do the hours. 9 minus 5 is 4. So we're going to depart Karachi, Pakistan at 0410 GMT on 24 May 2023. That's the first part of the step. Now we need to figure out what time we need to arrive in San Diego in GMT. We know that we need to arrive in San Diego at 1945 zone time on 19 June 2023. Just like the first part of the problem, Karachi, this is a port. It's not an op box or anything like that underway. We are going to the port. We need to make sure that we have the right zone description that this place is keeping based off of civil time, not based off of their longitude. So similarly to Karachi, we need to go into a pub to find that out. Karachi was overseas, we would use sailing directions, planning guides. San Diego is a US port. We're going to use the coast pilots. In this case, it's Coast Pilot 7, which covers the Pacific Coast, California. And again, we recommend that you bring this up on your computers or tablets or phones and go through this with us so you get some practice. We would open up that pub. And now remember, for Coast Pilot, they actually use different terminology than sailing directions. Sailing directions, you can look for zone description or time zone. Those actually don't show up in Coast Pilot. So you need to make sure you search for standard time and it'll bring you to the right spot. Then you can also look daylight savings time because they're right next to each other. So looking here, it tells us that the time zone in California is Pacific Standard Time, which is 8 hours behind Coordinated Universal Time, or UTC. 8 hours behind, that means that this is ZD plus 8. Now that's not all. You always have to check daylight savings, whether you're in a US port or a foreign port. So for daylight savings, it says, in California, clocks are advanced 1 hour on the second Sunday of March and are set back to standard time on the first Sunday of November. We know that we are arriving in San Diego in June, so in this case, daylight savings time does apply because that's between the second Sunday of March and the first Sunday of November. So that means that we are going to advance. So that means that our clocks will be already advanced 1 hour, which means for this time, we're actually not going to be keeping ZD plus 8. We'll be keeping ZD plus 7 because that is daylight savings time. So that's the zone description that we're going to use. This is why it's really important that you understand daylight savings, because if you didn't, then you would be an hour off. In this case, you would actually show up to your pilot pickup point or wherever it is an hour late. Don't ever be late. So just like we did for Karachi, I'm actually going to move this up here because I'm going to use this in the next part of the problem. So this is the same case as Karachi. We're going L to Z, local to Zulu, so we're going to let it be. So this ZD plus 7 is going to take those 7 hours and add it to our zone time to get GMT. So this is what it'll look like. We will add 7 hours and 0 minutes. We'll do some math. Start the minutes. 45 minutes plus 0 minutes. It's 45. Now we'll do the hours. 19 hours plus 7 hours is 26. So we are going to arrive at 26:45 GMT on 19 June 2023. Now you're probably saying, hold up, 26:45, not a time. You're right. This means that when we did the math, we figured out that we are actually going to arrive on the next day. So 26:45 GMT on 19 June is actually a little bit past midnight on 20 June 2023. In order to make this an actual time, we're going to need to subtract 24 hours from our time. And to account for that, we're actually going to add 1 day over here because 24 hours equals 1 day. So when we do the math, it'll work out. So now we'll do the math again. So luckily, the minutes just carry down. So 45. Now we'll do the hours. 26 hours minus 24 hours is 02 hours. So in this case, we're going to arrive at 02:45 GMT. Now we'll have to do the days. We'll take our 19 June 2023. We're going to add that extra day since we took 24 hours over here. 19 plus 1 is 20 June. So we're going to arrive at 02:45 GMT on 20 June 2023. So there we go. We just converted our arrival and departure zone times into GMT. We determined that we will depart Karachi, Pakistan at 04:10 GMT on 24 May 2023. And we need to arrive in San Diego at 02:45 GMT on 20 June 2023. In our next video, we're going to calculate the transit time, which means we're going to take this departure and this arrival, figure out how much time it's going to take from our departure to our arrival. We'll start with days, hours, and minutes, and then we'll convert that into hours.